Okay, back to you guys.
Right, so it started with the cosmetics line. And we were in the mall. We said, let's do a mall kiosk. So we went to West Covina because her line was targeted at Latinas. We're like, that's a great area. La Puente is pretty much almost 100% Hispanic. So we started in West Covina. And then immediately, the one thing that we saw was people saying, how do I become a makeup artist? Can you show me how to do my makeup? They didn't just want like the free makeovers we were doing. They wanted to learn how they could become a makeup artist, because we trained all of our employees to be makeup artists, and Ruby, of course, was a working makeup artist. And so you have to listen sometimes. You think you have a business, and we had this business, and we spent a lot of money creating it and launching it. Ruby Cosmetics turned out to be the wrong product at the wrong place at the wrong time. And
we lost it all.
We lost everything, like everything.
Yeah.
The 4 keys of marketing are what? A product, place, price, and promotion. We pretty much missed the mark all the way around with Ruby Cosmetics. It was the wrong time. The market was crashing. People didn't have money to spend. Even MAC, which was a few kiosks over, they were having trouble. Everybody was having trouble.
Now, 3 years ago, because of Instagram, that company would have made millions because it would have been the right product, the right place,
the right promotion,
the right price, right? But, of course, we were at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And so that's how we end up with Ruby Cosmetics.
But as an entrepreneur, you have to listen. Like, you think, like, we spent $500,000. We went way overboard with the launch of Ruby Cosmetics. So we spent pretty much everything we had. And Ruby came back to me and I said, I think there's a different market here, Trish. Every day people are asking me, how do I become a makeup artist? She goes, let's get a small studio and do a makeup school and just test it. Just do a month-to-month rent. Don't take out a lease. Just let's get something small. And I said, no, we're out of money. We can't do it. And she goes, I promise you that I'm right about this. And she's always right. And about work.
I'm always right.
About work. And so that's the beauty when you have a creative on board, because I'm very stiff. I'm very rigid. I have zero flexibility. Any of you that know me, especially if you work for me, if you call me, the answer is no. It's just no. And Ruby would be like, yes, and not only that, but then she'll tell you how to do it and help you do it.
I say yes to everything.
I say no to everything.
To everything.
And somewhere in the middle is where we meet, because she can't say yes to everything. There's not enough money for yes to everything, and I say no to everything, which is also unreasonable. But somewhere in the middle, there's room for a little bit of everything. So we got a small studio in Arcadia. Arcadia, yeah.
Arcadia.
It was like 275 square feet. And she would do classes of like 14 people, 16 people in there. There was not room. 200, think about 200, it's probably the size of your bathroom, 275 square feet. It was crazy, but we could afford it. And she was right. The people were going crazy for it. So immediately we moved out of there and we moved into our Temple City location, which is what we call the original location of Ruby Makeup Academy. But my point is, you have to listen. Even
intuition is really big in business, guys. If you are not paying attention to your intuition, to your gut instinct, you are missing the market.
Yeah.
You are missing so many opportunities, and you are also hitting many walls, because if you pay attention to what you're doing and what's going on around you, the industry would tell you everything that you need to create, to slow down, to change gears, and so pay attention to your intuition.
Yeah. You guys, just a sidebar here. Do you know the Post-it notes that we all have? We stick the yellow stickers, the pink, the purple stickers everywhere. Do you know that when 3M, the creator of that, when they came out with it, that it wasn't supposed to be a sticky like that? Did you know that?
Yeah, I heard that.
It was supposed to be permanent. The fact that it wouldn't stay, they were just like, like all the money they put into it, it didn't work. And then somebody goes, wait, there's a market for that, right? We just stick it on and then we take it off.
And we love it. Don't we love those sticky things? We post them everywhere.
That wasn't supposed to be. It was totally an accident. It was a fail. It was a complete failure for what they had already spent, millions and billions in their research and development to develop this permanent colored paper.
And here's what I'm going to tell you guys. It doesn't matter how painful a failure is. There's always a lesson out of that. There's always a product out of that, like the post-it little notes. But there's always something that you can get out of that will change your life and your business. Just like Ruby Cosmetics, we started with Ruby Cosmetics. By the time we were done with it, we were almost homeless. We were being evicted. We have lost our cars, our homes, everything, okay, out of that investment. And out of that investment, it was one of the most painful experiences that I had in my life, and I'm sure it was Trisha's too. It was one of the most painful things, but from there, Ruby Makeup Academy was born. So it was an expensive experience, but 10 years later, we have this amazing business that takes care of us, and that is, we have created a culture, we have created so many relationships with people, and it makes us a lot of money. So pay attention, because in your pain right now, if you're going through that, if you pay attention, there's something greater for you there. You can come up with something so amazing that will change your life.
Yeah. I just want to emphasize change. We're all resistant to change. Change is so hard for humans. And when the market was crashing, Ruby was like, I'm out. I hate this. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I hate this, and I'm just out. And I was like, I was 40 years old, and I had been in mortgage for 20 years. So I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, I have to stay. And so I was like, you go, I'll stay. We were in Palm Springs, and she moved to Los Angeles, and I stayed in Palm Springs, and I literally stayed until the very end, until I couldn't stay anymore.
I'm always chasing my happiness.
Yeah.
I love a business, and when that
stayed.
business doesn't make me happy, which is not normal. When you're in business, you have to stay regardless, right? But at that time, it was that kind of business that I could walk away. And so I did it. I went and I followed my intuition, and I followed my dreams, and I created something amazing. That's how I met all of you guys, and I get to work with a lot of amazing people, and a lot of you guys are in my life because of this business.
Right. I stayed longer than Ruby, which means I lost more money than Ruby did. And then finally, at the end, I had a lot of friends that are still in the real estate industry, and they're not that happy about it. But they, like me, were just like, what else am I going to do? Finally, at the end, I was like, you guys, this is the Titanic. We can't pretend that it's not the Titanic. I'm leaving. I don't want to be floating in the freezing water with you guys. I'm out. And so I left before the very bottom, because I don't have vision. I'm a very stable, consistent, boring, like same thing, same place, same all day long in a box at my desk on a computer 6 days a week. That's my happiness right there.
Yes.
And she never comes in. I'm like, you need to come in, because I really
my
need to work
happiness
with you.
is being around people, doing things, working. I work 24/7, by the way, but I want to work from home. I want to work from my car. I want to network. I want to be around people.
So when you see her at the parties on Snapchat, that's work.
That's work.
I know to you guys it looks like fun. It is work. She beats her face for 2 hours, goes and gets her hair done, and then drives an hour to get to these parties, and then smiles and
Snapchat, and then I go home.
It's work.
Even if I don't want to be there, I show up, because number one rule to be successful in business is show up and do the work. Show up and do the work. Even when you're not getting paid, even when you're not making the money, you still show up. Let me tell you, it will pay off. And so we have 8 tips on how to grow your business, right? The first one is know what you want. Be very clear, be very specific. And what that means is you want to make sure that you have a vision on paper, not like, yay, I want to sell this, or I want to teach this. No, it's why do you want to teach that? Why do you want to create that program? Why do you want to go? Where do you see the company? What is it that that company is going to do, and how is that company going to serve your community, your family, your life, okay? So it's not about building 4 walls and putting product and selling and making the money. And let me tell you, if you go into business with that mentality, you are going to go through so much pain, and you're never going to find the passion to create what it takes to make millions, okay? So first, find your passion. Be very detailed about what you want in life. Write it down. There's always a higher purpose, even in business and creating and making money. There's always a higher purpose, and that's what you want to get to first. Creating the higher purpose in your life and in your business. Okay, know what you want with your life. The second one is set goals. Talk about it.
Yeah, you have to set goals in order to achieve something. So like right now, are you a brand new graduate, whether it's with your bachelor's in business or if you're from the Ruby Makeup Academy? If you're a brand new graduate from something, what's your goal? What do you want to do the rest of this year? But this year's halfway over now. So what do you want for 2017? Do you want to make 25,000, 100,000, a million? Now it's not realistic to graduate today and say you're going to make a million next year. It's just not. So don't set goals that are too high. Your goals have to be attainable. Like
Your dream can be really high. Your dream can be billions,
yeah.
taking over the world, creating the next Disneyland, Disney World, creating the next, I don't know, whatever it is that your dream is. That can be very high, but your goals have to be obtainable.
They have to be attainable, and they should be in writing. If you want to be a celebrity makeup artist, if you want to have a job at X company, if you want to be driving a BMW, if you want to buy a house,
Create your own cosmetic line.
you have to. What I always used to do, and I don't see Ruby doing this because she's a creator and she has so many things in her head. I don't have that many ideas in my head. So when I have one that I like, I put it up on my wall. When I was younger and I wanted a nice car, I would go to the dealer. I don't even know if they have brochures anymore. I don't even think they do, huh? It's too expensive. I would get a brochure and I would pull out that centerfold and I'm like, yes, I'm going to have that BMW by January. I would put it in my house. I would put it in my office. And so I would see it. And then the first time that I bought a luxury car, I parked it outside my window. I was in real estate sales selling new homes. I was in the development and I parked it right outside my window and I'm like, how am I going to pay for that car now that I got that car? Because I already had a mortgage payment and now I had a car payment that was like the same as my mortgage payment. I'm like, well, worst case scenario, I guess I could live in the car, but I don't really want to. And so people would come in, I'd be like, hey, that's my mortgage payment. How you doing? Hey, come on in, let's sit down. Let's talk about which house you like best today. And so you have to have specifics. Like if it's a house, grab a picture of the house you want. Go to, we do vision boards. We try to do vision boards once a year. We'll go to a magazine stand and we'll buy like 10, 20 magazines on health and fitness and luxury items, real estate, cars, jewelry, whatever. And we'll tear it out. If you don't know what a vision board is, you go to Michael's and you get like the biggest piece of like hard cardstock paper that they sell. And then you tear everything out of magazines and you just put it down. And you'll find that when you're doing the vision board, a common theme will recur. For me, it's usually cars and houses. Ruby would be like jewelry and Oprah Winfrey, and so it's
J-Lo.
And J-Lo. It's like, where's your heart at? What do you really want? But you have to see it. When I was studying for my broker's exam 20 years ago, they had told me if you pass the exam, when you dial in for your results, a voice will automatically, when you punch your social, it's gonna say congratulations. So I took little signs and I had them everywhere. I had them in my bathroom, so I'd see it first thing in the morning. Had it at my desk, on my phone, everywhere that said congratulations, because I was positive, I was psyched up that I was going to pick up that phone and hear congratulations. And of course I did, because I planned for it.
Just adding to her goals story, writing your goals has been proven through, I think, Harvard University, that 89% of the people that write their goals, 10 years later, they were able to accomplish their goals.
Oh, Harvard did
the graduates,
study.
they did a study. Right.
That 90% of the graduates from Harvard Business School that didn't write down their goals didn't have success. Like, you could even come out of Harvard Business School.
Was it that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
If they didn't write down their goals, they weren't, like, I mean, they came out of Harvard, so they probably had pretty good jobs. But the ones that wrote their goals were like here.
The ones that wrote their goals were at like
Richard Branson status.
Yeah.
And the other ones were probably bankers on Wall Street making a couple $100,000 and hating their lives. So they
had a good job because they had a degree.
You're from Harvard.
But the ones that wrote goals had the most amazing lives because they were very specific when they wrote that. So writing your goals It's very, very important in business, right?
Yeah, write it down,
Um,
and if you can, post visuals. If there's something visual,
Visual,
if it's just
if you
dollar
see it,
signs and
you feel
Lamborghinis,
it.
whatever it is.
You read it, you feel it, you see it, it starts happening. Something happens in your brain. Something happens when you write goals that triggers your brain to take action towards those goals, you know? And at the end, that's what's key to success in your business, in your life, in your career, you know, whatever it is that you're doing. The other one is to strategize.
Yeah, strategize. Figure out how you're going to get there. You cannot be sitting at home today making nothing or maybe 10,000 a year and say, I'm going to make 100,000 next year just because I want to, because that is not going to happen. You have to know how you're going to get to 100,000. Tony Robbins says, find a role model and model them. Do what they do. He talks about it for everything, for like weight loss. You know, look at the thin person in the room when you're in a restaurant and see how they eat. Find someone who's wealthy and model them. And so, like, we both coached with Martha, and her husband Billy were so uber wealthy. They lived up north in Silicon Valley, and we were just like, how do they do this?
How do they do
And we would watch them so closely and listen to them. And we would be in their home for days at a time, and we'd just be like, they'd be on the phone, and we're like, what is that?
And we learn so much just by hanging out with them.
And they were happy to share it, but just observing them in their daily lives, we learned more than if they would sit down and try and teach us. We would hear them in business meetings and hear them on the phone and be like, that's what ballers do.
And here's a funny thing. When I started Ruby Makeup Academy, the first year I think we made 70,000. The second year I made 200,000. But my experience and my knowledge was just enough to make 200,000. And because I have learned before with Martha that finding the right mentor was very key to success, I decided to do that. In the first year that I hired a business coach, someone who taught me how he made it, how he did it, I went from making 200,000, literally 12 months later, I was closing my year with $1.1 million. I mean, that's huge growth, guys. And why is that? Because I didn't have the experience to make more than that. So I was stuck at 200,000. After that, I was like, I don't know how to do this. So I went to this it was actually a 5-day seminar, okay, all week in Las Vegas. And actually spent 5 days just strategizing, writing, absorbing everything that this guy was teaching and all the experts that he had there. And I came out of that event with a plan. And literally that seminar was in December, and in January I put all that in place. Not all of it, actually, just a few things.
It's so many things when you come out of a good seminar. You
do so many things, but it's only a few things that you do every day that will make that huge change in your business. So I went from 200,000 to $1 million within a year. The next year, I went back to the seminar. I came back, and we made 2 point something, 3 point something, and now each of my branches are making about $1 million a year, guys. And it's because of what I learned from someone who knew how to make that kind of money. Actually, the person that I mentored was making billions, and so it was kind of like crazy. But I used a lot of the stuff that did fit my business, and I run with that, you know. So strategizing from whether it's taking a class, taking a seminar, coaching with someone, the steps of how you're going to do business, you know, is very, very important, guys. I'm a true believer of education. I'm in education, right? But I'm a true believer on finding the right mentor that can guide you, and someone that already did it, someone that has done it already, so you can follow their steps. Because a lot of the successful people, they have a roadmap to success. They have done it already. So figure out what your strategy is going to be. Figure out what are the steps that you're going to take, you know, to make this happen. The other one is work hard. I mean, we've been saying it. We show up daily. Whether we're getting paid or not, we still show up, because at the end it builds up, and when you get paid well. You know, eventually you meet the right person. Eventually you do the right thing, and you show up every day. And I always say, you show up like you're getting paid $1 million, even if you're not getting paid. Yeah. It will make a difference, because the day that you treat someone like $1 million, the day that you treat someone like that person is paying you $1 million, they might be able to give you the $1 million job they might be able to give you the $1 million opportunity, or they might give you the connection that you need to make that $1 million.
Yeah, I still work 6 days a week. We've had this business 10 years, and I do it because I want to. And Ruby still works 7 days a week, which is wrong.
I'm a workaholic.
Because, yeah, I mean, if you're a passionate entrepreneur, you're a workaholic. There's nothing, literally nothing I would rather do than work on my business. And that's unfortunate. That affects my life in negative ways. But it's true, and her too. It's all she thinks about and talks about. When we go on vacation, she takes all her electronic devices with her and makes it not a true vacation. But
I'm trying not to do that anymore, though, because it is taking a toll on my
if you're a
health.
true entrepreneur, you just can't stop thinking about it. Now,
You work until you drop dead.
I'm not a
Which,
creative.
that's not the goal.
So
but
my
we
mind
do.
doesn't spin the way hers does. But I'll pound it out at my desk 6 days a week because it's what I want to do, and there's nowhere else I'd rather be. On Sunday, I'll go out for a hard bike ride and bicycle myself to exhaustion, and then come home and I'm too tired to do anything. And that's literally the only way that I make myself not work on that 7th day. But you have to love it. And so if it's something you hate, like my first career choice, I went into accounting after I graduated from college. I was a tax auditor and an accountant, and I hated it so much that I physically cried on Sunday night because Monday was coming. I'd be like, no, I will cry.
How many of you guys have that, right? Where you wake up in the morning and you just
Cry.
cannot even tolerate the alarm and the fact that it's Monday morning and you have to get up and you have to go to work and deal with everything at work that you already hate.
Yeah.
You hate it.
So if
I
any
have
of my
been there.
employees are watching this, which you shouldn't be because it's
You shouldn't.
3:41, and you hate your job, quit now. Because I don't want those kind of people working for me. Ruby will sometimes do in a staff meeting, does anybody want to leave? Does anybody want to quit? I'll give you 100. I'll give you 200 if you quit now.
I would
Because
literally
we
do
don't
that.
want people there that don't want to be there.
I don't want employees. I want people that are self-driven and they want to have a career. I only look for people that want to have a career. And so I literally do this in my meetings when I see that things are not happening. And I'll be like, if anybody is unhappy, if anybody wants to quit, let me know. I'll give you $100, $200, $300.
And
Okay,
I'm in the back- I'm in the
$500.
back, I'm
Anybody
like,
wants to
What
go.
the fuck are you doing? Are you serious? But nobody takes it because
Nobody
their
takes it.
job is worth more than that $200.
Yeah, or they're afraid. They're afraid of not having a job, But I do believe in dreams, and I believe in living your dream and living the life that you want, that you design. And for me, every time that I am unhappy, every time that I thought, and I will give it my best, by the way. It's not like I just quit, but every time I thought I can't do this anymore, I would just let go. And guess what? The world will open up and I will have more opportunities that I can imagine. So number 5 is consistency. Create consistency in everything we do. When we're creative, especially me, I'll do this and it works, and then I'll go do that, and then I'll do this, and it's hard for me to create consistency. But I have trained myself to create consistency on the things that have results, on the things that give me what I want, what I need, whether it's money, whether it's a great connection, whether it's consistency in the way the business is coming in. Consistency is very important. So the way that I do it, and for my creatives are out there, is I look at what I'm doing right and what I'm doing good and what's giving me great results, and I make that mandatory to happen every day. Whether it's making a phone call every morning before I start my day, whether it's sending all my emails and get them out of the way, whether it's booking an appointment to meet with someone that can bring value to my business, right? Whatever it is, create consistency. That has been very key. I mark my calendar. Every Monday I do this. Every Sunday is my feel-good day now. I created themes for my day because I want to do things based on how I want to feel that day. And for me, Sundays is my day off. And instead of calling it a day off, it's my feel-good day. And I do things that make me happy, whether it's making a meal, going to the gym, going to the mall and spend some money. That always makes me happy. Or just stay home and watch a movie with popcorn and raisin nets. Those are my feel-good moments, okay? But also through the week, I create days where, on Mondays, my theme day is team building. And I spend that whole day just building the morale of my team, pushing them, getting them motivated, getting them excited, giving them the tools that they need to do more, to do better, and to feel happy too. Because when my team is happy, I'm happy. When my team is making money, I'm making money. When my team is doing well, I'm doing well, guys. I love it. Okay, so I spend every week one whole day just building my team. And I mean from everything, from helping them with mistakes, with complaints, to making them feel good about life and why they're doing what they're doing with me. Okay, and so I do believe that I have Ruby warriors that believe in my culture, in my beliefs, and in my dreams, and they go out there to the world and share it. Okay, so creating consistency, creating theme days is very amazing, because you can have a to-do list and you go, okay, I have to do this. Okay, this makes me happy. Oh, this makes me sad. But if you have theme days and you have a day like team building, even the meetings that I didn't like before, I love them now, because now they're not it's not a mandatory meeting. It's a team building day, and I use my meeting to do that. And so creating that makes a big difference. Consistency makes a big difference. Okay, number 6. That's actually my favorite. Creating systems. I always look at what works and I write it down. A lot of employers or self-employed people, they do, and they don't even know what they're doing. They don't really know what they're doing, but they're just doing and doing and going, right? And the day that they hire an employee, they go, here's the phone, here's your desk, go sell, go work, good luck, go make money. And they don't know what to do. You're the only one that knows how to do it. So you end up firing the employee, you end up not making the money, you end up wasting that money on that employee, but you didn't give that employee the right tools and the training, right? And so what I do personally is I look at what I do really well. And because I started this business, Trish and I, we both used to answer the phones. I used to teach. She used to collect the money. I used to answer the phones. She used to process the payments. I used to teach. She used to come in and help me with things, right? Because I knew how to do everything from answering the phone to making the sale to teaching the class. I was like, why am I so good at it? One, because I'm very passionate about it. I love people and I love sales. And so I was like, okay, so let me write this down so I can teach it to my employees. And so I started doing that, and that's how I started building my business. Because the hardest thing that you're going to do when you start a business is hiring your first employee. It is painful because you don't know what the hell you're doing. You only know how to do it yourself. And when you have that employee, now you have someone on payroll and they are scared. They don't know what they're doing. And so from how you answer the phone to how you send an email to how you process your leads to how you talk to people, when you're making the sale, put it on writing and create, what do they call POS? No, PO. I forget what they're called. I forget what they're called, but you create a list of step by step of every position that you're creating in your business. And usually you have done it all because you started the business, you did it all. So you know how front desk is supposed to act, you know how your teacher's supposed to be, you know how your salespeople supposed to be. Trish has done the accounting, the payroll, all that stuff. So she knows everything how she wants it done. And so she will actually do that and put it on paper, put it on writing, and say this is what you're going to do your every day, right? And so creating systems that work, oh my God, that has been the biggest thing that we have done in our business.
We have a whole system just for hiring and firing, creating corporate culture. It's what changed our business. It's what took out the the instability factor of the employees, of the high turnover.
The high turnover
is when we learned how to hire. You can't just hire because, oh, you're pretty and I like your makeup. And,
oh, you're my best friend, or you're my family,
or
you're funny. So creating that system for everything will also tell you who you need to hire, because it will be so specific from the personality and the skills that person needs. So that's very key. And she, by the way, guys, she will be teaching that in my not my fame, but in my Beauty Business Summit. I'll tell you guys a little bit about it in a minute. But she's going to be teaching that, how to hire, how to recruit, you know.
That's my favorite thing. Next to counting the money. Counting the money is my number one thing. But beyond that is the hiring, because it's so specific. And we did it wrong so many times. I mean, I'm telling you, there's no greater way to discover what's right than to do it wrong.
And if you have a business, you know that pain.
so expensive
Oh my
to
God,
do
it's
it
so
wrong.
expensive. For every employee that you lose, what is the average? I think it's
$60,000.
$64,000.
Is the cost of retraining the new employees.
Exactly. So think about that, okay?
That's
So
billions of
creating
dollars.
systems, and so develop a brand too that speaks to a specific target group. We create a business, but if we don't work on the brand, we're attracting a little bit of everything, but not enough to make us the money. And so being more specific about what your brand is, the feeling of the brand, the personality of the brand, who are you targeting, makes a huge difference, and also helps you sell more. This is something that we are going to cover also in our Beauty Business Summit. We're going to spend a whole day defining your brand, creating the right target group for your business, and just creating the language that you need to multiply your sales. And number 8, last but not least, creative marketing. Not marketing, creative marketing. Creative marketing can be so inexpensive if you start thinking in how to do this. How am I going to do this? And one of the things that most businesses do is, how much do I pay to attract more clients? And a lot of what you get a lot of crap. You get a lot of people clicking through it but not buying. And you might get your money back. But the whole thing is that if you get creative with your marketing, then you will be able to attract the people. If you have the right brand with the right message and you use creative marketing, you will attract the right people to buy more from you, instead of just attracting random people that won't even care for your product, right? And so creative marketing is good. Trying to figure out, how do I pay for results and not for marketing? For example, you ask someone to promote you, right? And let's say this person only has $50,000 followers on Instagram, and you might not offer them money or a lot of money. You might say, I'll give you a couple $100. Can you promote for me for this month? And for every person that you bring in or that comes in and mentions your name, I will pay you for every person. So that's creative marketing, because you're offering someone either no money or a little bit of money up front, a couple $100, but you offer her more money for every person that calls and actually books something with you. And now that person can be getting paid every month. So now you're paying for results. You're paying for people to bring you results, the right people. So imagine how much cheaper that is. You either get someone to do it for free, or you do it for a few $100s.
Yeah, because traditional marketing is very expensive.
It's very expensive.
So expensive.
You can go and pay for a billboard $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 for a month, and you might get maybe a few hundred people that will call and ask for your product and everything, and at the end of the day you only sell 2 sales. And so, like for me, if my price is $2,500, I'm making $5,000 on that. I'm not even making what I pay for the billboard. And so that's traditional marketing. Creative marketing is when you pay very little or no money at all, but you pay for the results. So the more clients I have that buy me, I'll pay you a percentage for that. Okay, so whatever that means. So take that in consideration, use that, and figure out, how can I be creative with my marketing where I'm paying for results and not for marketing, not for advertisement, but you do it for the results. There's so many different ways that I am going to be sharing at Beauty Business Summit in Las Vegas. And so this is just a little taste of it, but it gives you a lot to think about though. All you need to do is to put a couple of things in place in your business, and you can start seeing your business grow. So I'm too excited now. Beauty Business Summit is a 3-day event that I created for the business owner, or for that person that is dreaming in starting their own business. It's going to be a 3-day business class seminar in Las Vegas for 3 days, 17, 18, and 19 of October. And I am going to be teaching you my experience. I am be teaching you everything that I have learned in this business, the way that I do business, from creating my brand that appeals to so many young women. We graduate over 1,200 people a year, guys, okay? So we graduate a lot of people, and even though now the competition is so tough, I'm still on top of my game, growing my business every day. So you are going to be learning how I develop my brand, how I use the message to create a culture and to also to market myself, how I have used social media to grow to where I'm at. 40% of my business comes from social media, and that's free advertisement, and we also going to be doing, I personally going to be teaching my sales systems that I created, that I have used for the last 10 years to multiply my income. And I mean multiply my income by huge numbers, guys, from 200,000 to a million in 1 year. Okay, so if you are a